Welcome back to Wrestling World. Today we'll be taking a look at the massive confusion around the Ric Flair and Charlotte segment, Roman Reigns canceling a WWE debut, and more. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on if you're new, and drop a like below. Let's get into the wrestling news with this Ric Flair drama and situation. Ric Flair joined his daughter Charlotte Flair on Raw this week and was standing at ringside for the match. However, Lacey Evans did a lot of flirting with Ric Flair during the match, and Ric Flair was easily distracted. The weird part here that we saw on Raw was due to Lacey Evans flirting. Ric Flair decided that he'll turn on Charlotte, trip her up, and cost her the match. Yeah, the story was there. Ric Flair tripped Charlotte because he was so hypnotized by Lacey Evans. But I don't know, it felt very weird. Here you have Ric Flair with Charlotte Flair, his daughter, that has accomplished so much that he's so proud of. But due to Lacey Evans flirting with him for 30 seconds, he decides that Charlotte Flair deserves to lose the match, and he costs her the match. It felt strange. Yeah, we know Ric Flair was known for being a ladies' man, but the fact that he would put a woman that he just met for 30 seconds in front of his own daughter and help the other woman win the match was just strange. Now, there is some reports that claim the ending to the match was botched. Apparently, Ric Flair was supposed to try to trip up Peyton Royce, but that's when he accidentally tripped up Charlotte and cost her the match. I really want to believe that finish to the match right there because that sounds so much better than what we actually saw. Ric Flair is distracted with everything going on with Lacey Evans that he tries to trip Peyton but accidentally trips Charlotte, instead of what we got, which was just Ric Flair tripping Charlotte Flair with no one else around. Charlotte Flair then got in Ric Flair's face, telling him to stay out of her business, and he walked to the back with his head down. Another thing that a lot of people have pointed out is just how poorly Ric Flair gets treated on WWE television. When we last saw him last spring, he was getting a punt by Randy Orton. He comes back to Raw now, and he has his daughter yelling at his face, setting him to the back. And you also had Randy Orton getting in his face, saying that he's just a pathetic old man. So when you step back and really take a look at it, you see that Ric Flair comes to Raw to basically just get degraded and made fun of, which is really strange. Maybe he did something to someone, who knows? But it's like every time we see Ric Flair, the main goal is always, how can we embarrass him now? So it was a weird one-night only storyline for Ric Flair on Raw. Ric Flair did apologize to Charlotte on Twitter, and she accepted it. So we'll see if anything comes out of this story. Next, we seem to have a big update to the reports of Roman Reigns canceling a big debut on SmackDown. Apparently, WWE wanted to have Damien Priest make his main roster debut on SmackDown by revealing himself as Kevin Owens' best friend. Damien Priest was reportedly backstage and ready to go for SmackDown. It was going to be Kevin Owens and Damien Priest going up against Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. However, there was one big problem, and that was the fact that the story made no sense. Kevin Owens and Damien Priest have not really been seen together on screen that much, and we never had any indication of them being best friends in the past. So not only was Roman Reigns against the idea, but reports claim that Kevin Owens pointed out the plot hole as well. Kevin Owens was fine with him making his debut, but he was reportedly against the idea of Priest being labeled as his best friend when the two characters have no history or anything in common. Roman Reigns agreed with Kevin Owens that it made no sense, and once they got Roman Reigns' word on it, they scrapped the planned WWE debut. Of course, everyone wants to see Damien Priest's debut, but this was just a spot that made no sense for him to get involved in. So thankfully, Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns stepped up to stop WWE from adding a random individual to their storyline. Not only does it make no sense because their characters have nothing in common, I also think it would have hurt Kevin Owens from a character perspective. Kevin Owens is this hard-fighting babyface character that won't quit and keeps going up against the numbers advantage that Roman and Jey have over him. Kevin Owens going up against Roman Reigns and Jey every night by himself makes him look brave and full of courage. Kevin Owens running off and grabbing an NXT superstar definitely would have worked, but it would have been strange. But we don't know. Maybe it still happens in the coming weeks. But Roman Reigns' storyline is just so special to SmackDown that they should really think twice before just adding anyone to the storyline. What are your thoughts on Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens' reasoning for scrapping Damien Priest's return? Speaking of canceled moments and botches, there was another moment from Raw that was botched because of time, and that was Goldberg's return. If you saw Goldberg's return, you'll notice that he came right out after the match to confront Drew McIntyre. But pay attention to Goldberg's words, and you may be left wondering, what in the world was he talking about? Goldberg's promo mostly consisted of him confronting Drew McIntyre for McIntyre being disrespectful to the WWE legends. But us as the viewers are just thinking, Drew McIntyre never said any of this. What is Goldberg talking about? Apparently, Drew McIntyre was supposed to get on the mic and address the WWE legends that were on the stage. Drew McIntyre would praise the legends, but he would have said something that would have triggered Goldberg to come out and take offense to. WWE was reportedly hoping that Goldberg would make up a quick change on the spot since Drew McIntyre didn't really get the chance to say anything that would bring him out. But Goldberg stayed true to the original script, so that's why he confronted Drew McIntyre about things that Drew McIntyre never even said. Not only that, but the closing moments of Raw made Drew McIntyre look weak by accident. Goldberg pushed Drew McIntyre to the ground and Raw faded to a black screen, with Drew McIntyre still on the floor. WWE did release the full version on YouTube, which showed that Drew McIntyre got right back up and got in Goldberg's face. That would have been a great ending to Raw, but the ending to Raw that we saw on live television was Drew McIntyre on the floor while it faded to black. So that was another timing issue that caused a big problem for WWE. Lastly, we have Billie Kay's first public response to Peyton Royce's new tag team. Peyton Royce and Billie Kay spent the start of their WWE careers together in the tag team called the Iconics. Not only that, Peyton and Billie have known each other since they were teenagers, so the split was very hard on them than it usually is for most tag teams. The Iconics did not get a proper farewell storyline. WWE made the overnight decision to split them up, and they went through with that idea. However, Peyton Royce left Billie Kay only to be thrown back into another tag team with Lacey Evans. Billie Kay had this to say about Peyton Royce's new tag team. What a massive win for them, you know. They beat the women's tag team champions on Raw on Monday. I was watching and I was cheering Peyton on. The Iconics will always be a soft spot for me, but I will always be her biggest supporter. She's found a new partner with Lacey Evans. Let's be honest, Lacey's a little bit of a nut. She's a little bit out there. But then again, you need that contrast in a tag team. As long as she treats my darling Peyton right, I'm all for them going as far as they can as a tag team. So it looks like Billie Kay is still supporting her best friend, even if she does have a new tag team partner now. But what are your thoughts on today's wrestling news? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.